What happens when you take two of the most powerful, most talked about SUVs on the planet and point them both at the same finish line? You get chaos, you get noise, you get a result that absolutely nobody was expecting. One is a raging Italian bull, low, wide, and built to destroy everything in its path. The other is a boxy German legend that has no business doing what it's about to do. This isn't just a drag race, this is a statement. Buckle up. The Lamborghini Urus. The moment it arrived, it split the automotive world right down the middle. Half the people said it was a betrayal of everything Lamborghini stood for. The other half immediately put one on order. And then there's the Mercedes-AMG G63, a vehicle that has been around, in various forms, since before some of you were born. A military-bred, road-legal tank that somehow became one of the most coveted status symbols on Earth. Both carry twin turbocharged V8 engines. Both produce headline-grabbing numbers. And both attract the kind of attention that makes people stop mid-conversation and turn their heads. But today, none of that matters. No track days, no handling tests, no off-road theatrics. Today we go in a straight line, as fast as humanly possible, and we find out which one of these machines truly deserves to be called king. Exterior design. The Urus doesn't arrive, it invades. From every angle, this thing looks like it was designed by someone who was told to make an SUV and then completely ignored the brief. The roofline is low and aggressive, slicing through the air rather than pushing against it. The front end is pure Lamborghini, sharp, hexagonal, angular to the point of being confrontational. Those Y-shaped headlights cut through the dark with a menace that feels entirely deliberate. The body lines are taut and complex, creases folding into each other, creating depth and drama at every angle. The wide rear haunches flare outward with muscle. The diffuser and quad exhaust tips at the rear remind you, in case you forgot, that this is not a school-run vehicle. Everything about the Urus communicates speed even when it's parked. It crouches, it coils, it looks like it's already thinking about the next corner. And then there's the G63, which looks like it was designed by someone who said, "We're not changing anything, and you're going to love it." The G63 is a box. It has always been a box. It will always be a box. And somehow, that box is one of the most recognizable, most desired shapes in the entire automotive world. The squared-off roofline, the flat hood, the exposed door hinges, the side-mounted spare. These are design elements that haven't changed in decades, and they don't need to. Because the G-Wagon's visual identity is so strong, so established, so deeply embedded in the culture, that changing it would be like repainting the Mona Lisa. The AMG treatment adds widened arches, a more aggressive front splitter, and those signature quad exhausts sitting high on the body. In the right specification, with the right wheels, the G63 looks absolutely commanding. Like something a general would drive to a war he knows he's already won. Interior and technology. Inside the Urus, you're immediately reminded that this is a Lamborghini, and Lamborghinis are not subtle. The cabin is driver-focused in a way that feels almost theatrical. Hexagonal shapes everywhere. Carbon fiber trim that catches the light. A dual-screen infotainment setup that gives you control over everything from driving modes to suspension settings. The seats are wide, bolstered, and grippy. You'll understand why when you discover what this car does at speed. Corsa mode is where the Urus truly wakes up. Everything sharpens, the exhaust opens, the transmission holds gears longer, the chassis tightens. The air conditioning gets sacrificed on the altar of performance because this thing throws everything it has at the road when you plant the throttle. Launch control is present. It is effective. It is frankly terrifying. The G63's interior is a lesson in how far this vehicle has come from its utilitarian roots. Step inside and you're greeted with AMG performance seats, a large infotainment screen carrying Mercedes-AMG system, and a level of material quality that reminds you this is a six-figure purchase. The Nappa leather is soft. The trim is tasteful. The driving position is upright and commanding. You sit in a Lamborghini, but you reign from a G-Wagon. The AMG-specific touches are everywhere. The flat-bottomed steering wheel, the performance driving modes, the exhaust button that transforms the soundtrack from composed to absolutely unhinged. For something that weighs nearly 6,000 pounds and looks like a refrigerator, the G63's interior is a genuinely premium place to spend time. Alright, so let's talk performance and engine. First up, the Lamborghini Urus. Under the hood of the Urus lives a twin-turbocharged V8 producing 641 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. It weighs roughly 1,000 pounds less than the G63. And honestly, it was built from the ground up to go very fast in a straight line. The combination of launch control, all-wheel drive, and that howling V8 makes the Urus genuinely supercar quick. We're talking 0 to 60 in under 3.5 seconds, numbers that not long ago were reserved for dedicated sports cars. The gearbox fires off shifts with a sharpness that makes you blink. At high speed, well past 200 kilometers per hour, this thing is still pulling, still climbing. The bolsters grip your sides as the car rockets forward. It is, by every measurable standard, one of the fastest SUVs ever built. Now let's turn to the Mercedes-AMG G63. Stock, the G63 runs a handcrafted 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged AMG V8 producing 577 horsepower. That number, on paper, should not be enough to keep up with an Urus. But this particular G63 is not stock. This one has been tuned. 700 horsepower to the wheels. Assume somewhere around 750 at the crank. The torque is immense. The straight-line thrust is, honestly, deeply unsettling for something shaped the way this thing is shaped. There's no launch control. There's no sophisticated torque vectoring system. There's no aggressive arrow helping push it into the tarmac. What there is raw power, rear-biased momentum, and a will to win that absolutely should not exist in a vehicle that handles like a city bus. The AMG V8 sound is extraordinary. It doesn't just roar, it bellows. Every gear change comes with a thunderous crack. On full throttle, it's one of the great sounds in modern motoring. All right, here we go. The drag race. Race 1 from a standing start. Urus launch control engaged, left foot on the brake, Corsa mode active, air conditioning off. G63, power mode on, right foot ready, go. The Urus launches hard, clean, and fast. The G63 makes a respectable start, honestly, better than expected. But the Urus pulls away with authority. Under heavy braking at the end of the strip, the gap is clear. Urus wins round 1. Race 2, from a standing start again. The G63 driver gets a better launch this time. More aggressive, more committed. The gap narrows, but the Urus, with launch control doing its job at maximum efficiency, still walks away with the victory. Trap speed over 200 kilometers per hour. The kind of pace that honestly rewrites expectations for what an SUV should be capable of. Urus wins round 2. Race 3, rolling race. This is where things get interesting. Without the launch control advantage in play, the tuned G63's 700 wheel horsepower gets to express itself more freely. The Urus still wins, but only by 2 car lengths. 2 car lengths. Against a vehicle that was never supposed to be in the same conversation. The tuned G63, for everything it is and everything it isn't, came remarkably close to the fastest production SUV ever built. Urus wins the rolling race, but the G63 earned its respect. Now let's talk pros and cons. Lamborghini Urus. The pros. It's one of the fastest SUVs ever produced. Supercar-level acceleration in a practical body. Stunning, aggressive exterior design, advanced launch control and driving modes, and let's be honest, it's genuinely thrilling at high speed. But there are some cons. Underneath, it shares significant DNA with the Audi RS Q8. It divides opinion on whether it really belongs in the Lamborghini lineup. At full pace, the cabin gets warm quickly. And of course, the price puts it firmly out of reach for most. Mercedes-AMG G63, the pros. Iconic, timeless design that really needs no explanation. In tuned form, it's shockingly rapid in a straight line. Extraordinary AMG V8 sound, commanding premium interior, and a cultural status that no other SUV can match. But the cons? The stock version gives away significant horsepower to the Urus. It weighs nearly 6,000 pounds, and the dynamics definitely reflect that. No launch control in standard configuration. Aerodynamics of a garden shed. And handling that reminds you always that this is a very tall, very heavy box. So, who is this really for? The Lamborghini Urus. This is for the driver. The person who wants a daily car that also drops jaws on a track day. The person who refuses to compromise between practicality and performance. It's for the enthusiast who needs 4 seats but still wants to feel something when they push the throttle. The Mercedes-AMG G63. This is for the person who values legacy just as much as performance. The one who wants to make an entrance at every location they visit. Not because they're chasing lap times, but because they understand that presence matters. It's for the collector, the icon hunter, the one who chooses to drive something that has meant something for decades. So, the Lamborghini Urus wins the drag race, convincingly at the start, less convincingly at speed. And that tuned G63, boxy, heavy, shaped like a kitchen appliance, pushed it harder than it had any right to. But here's the truth beneath all the noise and tire smoke. Create 7 minutes video. The Urus is the faster car, full stop. If straight line speed is your metric, the Italian wins every time. But the G63 is the more interesting story. It was never built to race, it was built to conquer. And the fact that with a tune and the right driver, it can sit within 2 car lengths of one of the quickest SUVs on earth. That says something profound about what Mercedes-AMG built. There are no losers today. There is only respect. And if you want more of this, real cars, real races, real moments, make sure you subscribe to Luxury and Scale and hit that notification bell. Leave a comment below. Urus or G63? Team performance or team legacy? We'll see you in the next one. Subscribe to Luxury and Scale, where the machines are serious and the fun never stops.